Hello,
Hazel.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you. At last, yes?
At last, absolutely.
Just let me get in this body properly.
Of course.
Yes. It's a long way to come.
It is. I hear you come from 40 billion light years away.
Yes, but it doesn't take long.
Just intention, is it?
Intention and connection and telepathy and yes.
I'm fascinated to hear more about your journey over the last few years, I suppose, as you've gone through what we're going through now.
We don't have years now.
No. Oh, is that right?
Time is just accepted as something. We don't say, see you in a week or so. It is, most people just are. They just take what comes to them.
Yes.
Not necessarily saying, see you in a week for coffee or something like that.
Well,
Time is a perspective, if you like, and was a control element in our civilization.
so you come from Mythia, is that right?
Mythia, with no time.
Not anymore.
No.
But did you have time like we have time?
Yes, that is the nature of part of the third dimension. Time is one of those controls that are in place. People move their energy around in time because that is the overarching framework, as well as other energies that are available to those in control. Time is key to the delivery of the control.
Okay. So what happened for you? Can I ask about your body? Was it like a human body?
Well, it is roughly the same shape and has many of the same functional aspects internally. It is taller. Yes, we have hands and legs. His image internally of me, as I have come through as the energy for him, is a quite tall, thin male with shoulder length long blonde hair. Quite young lookish.
More hair than him then?
Yes.
What age were you when you...
That is another thing we don't really acknowledge or recognise now. That is, as you can imagine maybe, things only exist if you acknowledge them, if you place intention onto them. So, how can I now talk about age? It is not part of the way we exist on Mythia.
May I ask what age you were when you went through this shift?
Well, age on Mythia does not equate to the way you equate to age. So you have, you know, seconds, weeks, years. There it was simply the passing of the main sun going round Mythia, and each cycle would be, if you like, counted as your one. So it is difficult to understand the ratio of one cycle of the sun around Mythia compared to what you might say as 1 year.
I see.
So I would have to maybe ask some of the elders what a year in your world equates to on Mythia. So I can do that and come back.
Okay, we can talk about that another time. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Simon told me that you are here to help the human race as we face this quite challenging time here on Earth.
Well, as best we can. The one is forming, and there was the energetic call to bring energies and other beings from the vast regions of space, the universe as you call it, to this particular region of the universe. The whole of the human race is, if you want to use the word, stagnating in the way it lives and its perception of the depth and experiences that life can offer to each individual as they like to see themselves as individuals. The question is really, we have come, we are here, we are available. There needs to be some level of acceptance from the human race that it needs help. It may well be that collectively you decide, well, we can do this on our own, and it would not be for us to force our energy on you. That's fine. However, we are here available to facilitate any transition. It is not necessarily a case that the whole of mankind will make it through to the fourth dimension. It is, from a separateness point of view, a decision that can be made at an individual level. And it is not necessarily a disaster, if you like, if the whole of mankind does not make it to the fourth dimension. What is the nature of existence and energy is that it tends to rise in vibration. That is its natural nature, if you like, and it does not sink. And so the natural raising of the vibration is to move from the third to the fourth, whatever the entity or whatever the energy is. And as that energy rises, vibrates more, raises its frequency, it brings into its experience, or it brings into its abilities different, you would call them skills perhaps, or different aspects of life that is available to that individual or the mankind race.
Can you give some examples?
Well, the easy example is telepathy. That is a different vibrational level of consciousness than a person who is not open to it. It is simply a matter of the vibrational level rising to that level where telepathy can exist, and also it is the intention of the individual, if you like, to accept that telepathy exists. Without that, then telepathy will exist but not actually have a receiver, if you like. That is necessarily the way. So
people not be bombarded by messages coming through.
Well, that is when, of course, there needs to be some discernment as to what is taken in and what is given out. Yeah, it is for the individual and their energy to attract that which is attracted to their level of vibration.
Mm-hmm. Zanda, I wonder if I could ask you what similarities you see perhaps on Earth at this time to where you were on Mythia prior to your shift from the third into the fourth dimension.
Well, the main issues or similarities are around the level of awareness that each individual has in terms of the desire or the skills or energetic availability in what is called the fourth dimension. And of course, when we say the fourth dimension, you know that it is a raising of vibrational level, so there's no boundary between the third and the fourth. It is a moving through, not a crossing over.
Okay.
And getting that message across to the vast majority of our civilization, our people, if you will, and them having it as part of their way of being was the main issue. It was largely around attempting to open their eyes, that they were able to take back the control that they had given away.
To who?
We were in a very similar position to you in terms of a small number of people, Mythians, were controlling the vast majority of the planetary wealth. We did not have money as you have money here, but the distribution networks that you have were similar to the distribution networks that we have. The decision-making process was within the realms of the few, and life had developed to the point where many people had found themselves caught in their way of life, and it was very difficult for them to either reject what was being offered through the distribution. There was, as they might perceive it, very little choice, so they were caught in that process.
Did that involve some level of materialism?
Well, materialism, what do you mean by that? Materialism for us was an energetic form. Yes, we had form, we had things that we owned, and in order to accumulate things or get things, we would have to exchange what was energy. It is simply the same as money, which has a form here on Earth, but on Mythia there was like an energy money or an energy token, if you like, which we would give over. It is simply a matter of terminology, really.